Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Welcome to my show. Diana here from yazziness.com. I'm very happy to have Joseph Jaffe or Jaffe Juice, that's his Twitter handle, to be my first guest today. We will be talking about his wonderful, excellent third book, Flip the Funnel. He is widely regarded as one of the top marketing bloggers with Jaffe casters, both Jaffe Juice in audio and video. Jaffe walks the talk, I like to say, because he's a brilliant marketer. He dares to challenge established marketing groupthink, and he brings a fresh perspective that has attracted blue chip clients like Coca-Cola, P&G, and Motorola. He is the author of 3 excellent books. One of them I mentioned, Flip the Funnel, Life After the 30-Second Spot, and Join the Conversation. And he's appeared on NBC, ABC, Bloomberg, New York Times. Woof! He also holds monthly conversations into the digital marketing and social media landscape with our own Canadian Mitch. Joe just launched a couple of weeks ago Evolution, and the O of Evolution is the infinity sign. His website is Start-ups.An. His new company, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, is about matchmaking early-stage startups with blue-chip brands to partner via mentoring, pilot programs, and or investment. I watched your video presenting Startup for Brands, and I can hear the passion and the human side to it. When we hear tech startups, there's a lot of money going on. There's a lot. You sort of take the human component and drop it in that equation and say that's probably what's missing.
And there's also you talk about a lot of money, and yet there was an article on the Wall Street Journal maybe a couple months ago that said that actually startup funding was drying up, particularly for early stage companies. So we kind of looked at these two worlds, the worlds of Madison Avenue and Mountain View, and realized that there was an acute shortage or problem or opportunity on both sides. One, you've got the brands, obviously everybody knows this, looking for new ways to engage and break through the clutter, new ways to invest all of their millions and millions of marketing dollars. Mm-hmm. And on the startup side, 97% of startups never get fully funded. So this coming together isn't just because, hey, wait a second, why shouldn't brands get involved earlier in the process? Early stage investment, upstream in a startup's development cycle or process, which makes sense in of itself. But there really is a love story in the making, which is the brands have the dollars, the startups need the dollars, the brands need ideas, the startups have ideas. Why not kind of create the ultimate win-win? The passion's there and the empathy and the emotion, but there's a genuine belief that this could be a better way for brands to go to market and engage their customers, direct service-based and utility-based relationships. That's really what we're talking about. So it's very exciting to me.
This idea is quite innovative. I wish you lots of success with it. Did this come from the observation that with the proliferation of startups, that it was not much a question of, getting the product out there to cater to customers with needs, but more of a technology demo or a technology proof of concept that we have to get out to see if it works?
Well, I think it's a great question, and I've been this idea has been percolating with me for over a year until I eventually got my act together and launched the company. Let's start off from the world that I live in, or the world that I come from, which is the brand marketing world, the Madison Avenue or advertising world. If you actually look at the world of the brands are struggling to come up with innovative new solutions. Innovation itself is becoming an absolute corporate mandate and a cultural imperative for companies, let alone brands, simply because the world is changing so radically and there is so much technology-based disruption that that absolutely is turning convention onto its head. So if you take that and the connection point, of course, is technology. You look at the startup world, and the startup world, the more I understand, and I don't come from that world, but in being able to recognize startups are the embodiment of technology-based innovation. But there's an acute, I think, problem with the startup model, and that problem is the fact that startups are dominated by funding and technology types of people, engineers and developers and programmers and VCs and private equity people and angels. There are no marketers, there's no marketing, there are no brands present. And almost exclusively, every one of these startups want to get big fast and then find their way to Madison Avenue to get advertising dollars. And so if that's the end goal, which is to get big and then be able to engage the big brands for advertising dollars, that's the world I come from. I know who those brands are, and I know the people at those brands that are responsible for that kind of investment. So why not just accelerate or compress the lag between that need arising and the fulfillment of that need? And it's not just better, cheaper, faster. It's the fact that, well, it's not just the faster part. Or the cheaper part. It's the better. It's the fact that we can produce a better mousetrap by bringing these brands to the table early on. And so that's really where the idea comes out of. It is a win-win situation. This isn't about one side dominating the other. It's about both sides wanting the same thing. And so therefore making sure that they meet each other again in life a lot earlier. If your soulmate's out there, you want to get together with them as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
You don't want to wait too late in life where you say, we could have had a lifetime together, of happiness.